Over 700 people have lost their lives in the Gaza conclave in just the last 24 hours. This is the highest death toll since Israel began its aerial bombardment to eliminate Hamas operatives. The United Nations Security Council is meeting on the Israel-Hamas war, with world leaders voicing concern on violation of international humanitarian law in the Gazan Strip.
I'm deeply concerned about the clear violations of international humanitarian law that we are witnessing in Gaza. Let me be clear, no party to an armed conflict is above international humanitarian law.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has reiterated America's stance at the United Nations Security Council meeting, highlighting UN's role in the crisis. He said that the United States recognizes the right of all states against terrorism, whether it is Israel or Mumbai. He added that all terrorist groups like Hamas, ISIS or Lashkar-e-Taiba should face the consequences of their actions.
As this Council and the UN General Assembly have repeatedly affirmed, all acts of terrorism are unlawful and unjustifiable. They're unlawful and unjustifiable whether they target people in Nairobi or Bali, in Luxor, Istanbul or Mumbai, in New York or Kibbutz Berry. They're unlawful and unjustifiable whether they're carried out by ISIS, by Boko Haram, by al-Shabaab, by Lashkar-e-Taiba, or by Hamas. They're unlawful and unjustifiable whether victims are targeted for their faith, their ethnicity, their nationality, or any other reason.
Meanwhile, Palestinian Authority's Foreign Minister Riyad al-Maliki called out the United Nations, saying that its inaction to stop massacres by Israel on Gaza is not an excuse.
The ongoing massacres being deliberately and systematically and savagely perpetrated by Israel, the occupying power, against the Palestinian civilian population under its illegal occupation must be stopped. The Security Council has a duty to stop them. The international community is obliged under international law to stop them. It is our collective human duty to stop them. Now, continued failure at this Council is inexcusable.
Even as the humanitarian crisis deepens in the Gazan enclave, with lives of over 1 million people at stake, lack of essential supplies and increasing deaths of civilians, there are few signs yet of tensions in the Middle East easing. The big focus is on preventing the conflict from spreading beyond Israel and Gaza. Let's now talk more about this. Our correspondent Susan Teherani is now joining us live from New York. Susan Teherani, very strong statements coming in from the United Nations Security Council. We've heard what the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres had to say. We've also heard what Secretary of State Antony Blinken had to say. We also have a new statement here from the Israeli ambassador to the United Nations. His name is Gilad Erdan. He has asked the United Nations chief Antonio Guterres to step down. What more do we know?
Yeah, I mean, this comes, Eric, following those statements and the speech of the Israeli foreign minister, as well as he addressed the Security Council, basically saying that if the UN Security Council and the United Nations fails to hold Hamas and the perpetrators of those crimes against Israel accountable, that it will be the darkest day of the United Nations, and it will be under your watch, Mr. Secretary General, as Antonio Guterres was sitting at the UN Security Council chambers. So it's clear that the emotions are very high, the anger is there, and we heard shortly after those statements, a group of Arab foreign ministers came out just behind me at the Security Council stakeout, and they unequivocally said that it's time for a ceasefire and that attacks against Gaza must stop immediately. They also said that all lives matter in this regard. But when I asked what their response would be to those, notably like the United States and Israel and its allies, saying that a ceasefire is not possible until all hostages are released, they said what we mean by a ceasefire is basically some sort of humanitarian pause at this point to try to help the civilians in Gaza. So you can see that everyone is really sticking to their position. But I think it was very noteworthy that the Israeli foreign minister came along with families of the hostages sitting alongside him at the UN Security Council chamber, really pleading for the international community to do something, as again, we heard the pleas for the people of Gaza as well.
Susan, we are saying that the United Nations Security Council meeting is still going on. Do we know when it's supposed to end?
Well, you have everyone trying to make their statements, really their position clear on this issue. And remember, this is a body that doesn't really have teeth. Ultimately, it's a body, despite the fact that the U.S. Secretary of State is sitting there. You have Arab foreign ministers sitting there. You have the Israeli foreign minister coming all the way from Israel with these hostages sitting there. But ultimately, they weren't able to reach a resolution the last time that ambassadors gathered here, even on the basics of the Israeli-Hamas conflict. So it's going to be ongoing. Everyone is sitting around making their positions clear. But what's next? What comes out of this? That's ultimately going to be the main question.
All right, let's wait and see what happens next. Susan Teherani is our correspondent live in New York. Thanks, Susan. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.